Hi, and welcome to another episode of Sustainment TV. I'm your host, David McDonald, and before we get into today's video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It'll help the channel to grow and improve upon what I do. So, without further delay, let's get right into today's video. Hey, what's going on? It's been an interesting week to say the least. Several days this week, the temperature was below 45 for most of them. Well, this morning it's 74, but I was already determined that I had a taste for chili, but I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money. So between what I had randomly in my freezer and a couple of Dollar Tree pickups, I'm going to try to make something out of it. So give me just a second to get everything together and we'll get this thing started. Alright, so next have to brown the meat in a skillet. So I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in the pan and get this party started. Once the meat is browned, want to drain the fat off, set it to the side so we can get ready to combine all the ingredients in a saucepan. So I'm gonna make this happen and be right back with you. Okay, now that I have my meat browned and I have my onion diced up for the most part, I'm gonna now put the beans and the diced tomatoes in my saucepan. Now I know I mentioned, I think I may have misspoke. I think I said 3 quart. You're definitely gonna wanna go with a 5 or 6 quart. This recipe makes about 8 to 9 servings, so you're definitely gonna wanna go with a 5 or 6 quart pot. So give me just a second to get that into the pot. Okay, once you get your diced tomatoes, your pinto beans, and your black beans into a pot, go ahead and turn the pot on. So even though we're not doing this the crock pot way, this is going to need to simmer. Once you get everything combined into your pot, it's going to need to simmer for about 30 to 45 minutes depending on if you go with low or low medium heat. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the meat and the onions with my beans and diced tomatoes, and we'll see in a bit. Okay, I have everything combined in my sauce pot, and I had in mind hearty, so that's why I went with a whole medium yellow onion. You can add onion or take it out according to what your personal preference is. It was a little too thick, so what I did end up doing, I ended up adding 2.5 cups of water, excuse me. And what I want to do is I'm going to bring this to a rolling boil before I actually turn it down to let it simmer. So that's what we're doing now. It's looking pretty good, smelling pretty good actually. To give this an extra kick, according to your palate, you can add a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper seasoning also, or if you want to let people add heat according to their individual taste, you can leave it out of, when you're making it as a whole, and people can just add it to their bowl, to their serving. So I'm gonna let this come to a rolling boil and let it simmer on low heat for about 25-30 minutes. So be right back. Okay, I let it boil, come to a rolling boil for about 15 minutes, and I'd let it simmer about 20 minutes on very low heat. Getting ready to give it a taste now. Came out real good. I'll definitely be putting either some hot sauce or some cayenne on my helping. Keep in mind also what you could do for additional toppings. You could go with anything from shredded cheese, you can do diced avocados, you could do scallions, or you could just keep it simple with salt, pepper, and whatnot. So this came out real good. Because I added a little more water than I had originally planned, this is definitely probably 8 to 10 servings. My ingredients list will be accurate in the description of this video, as well as exactly what I did in terms of heat and whatnot. So would love to hear your comments. I typically would do this from scratch, but you know, was feeling a little lazy today, but definitely wanted to make sure that I did this as cheap as possible, as quick as possible, and at the same time not wasting anything that I already had here. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again on the next video. Take care.